Hey, how's it going? My name is Kirk McDowell. I am a professional coach here in Austin, and my company is called The Challenge Call. And I'm talking to you today about a workshop that's happening January 20th in Austin. It's Austin Empowered Now, and included in the video is some information on how to get there January 20th. There'll be 4 or 5 speakers talking about creativity. I think it's going to be really great. Definitely a great opportunity. Hey, Carolee. The overall topic is creativity, and I've been trying to come at it from an unusual point of view, and so I've been talking about creativity at the level of being. So what does that mean? And so I've talked a little bit about creativity at the level of being, like who could you be in the world, and have that actually be a creation on your part. So an example I gave is, one way I've created a being in the world is a contribution, and I just practice that. A client of mine, when hired me sometime last year, talked about being connected. And she meant with her family and in her business. She's a professional real estate agent, so she created being connected, right? So anyway, now, if that's your pursuit, like being a certain way as a matter of your creation, right, and you're practicing it, you can imagine that from time to time you have a breakdown. Like you're being some way other than how you created. Like maybe when you get upset or something like that, right? So if the goal is to create a particular way to be in the world, and you get upset, get triggered, get hooked, an argument, dare I say, and you start being some other way, hostile, aggressive, loud, whatever, righteous or whatever, then that would be a breakdown against the commitment to be, contribution or connected or compassionate or whatever. So the point of this talk is, what do you do when you have a breakdown in this game called being a created way of being, right? So what do you do when you have a breakdown? So I'm going to give you the 3 steps, and this is a special tip here. So this is part of a course that I'm doing, and I'll only give this out on a course that I have called Contribution Leadership. I'm looking at some notes here, and so. Get a piece of paper. There's 3 tips on, 3 steps, 3 things to do when you have a breakdown in practicing being a certain way. How do you get back to a clear slate? How do you get back to no thing in between you and this other person or you and a situation? For example, I had a breakdown this week with a friend of mine. We were working something out. And we both had the experience. I think I had the experience he wasn't listening, and he had the experience I was being high maintenance, perhaps. But anyway, we had whatever experience that we had of each other, and we started, getting a little aggravated with each other, And so, I'll just speak for myself. There was a way of being that emerged that wasn't contribution, right? It was something else. And so what did I do, right? So here we go. Here are the tips. Write this down. Here are the 3 steps. First of all, you want to acknowledge, you want to say that what you did or how you were being, isn't consistent, or it wasn't consistent with what you're committed to, So I acknowledged and apologized for not being consistent with myself, not being true to myself, with him, not being a contribution with him. Secondly, an offer or an apology. They're actually not the same thing. They're different, and they're both useful. An offer would be, okay, is there anything I can do to make up for that? And just, really look and see if there's anything that'd be appropriate to take care of, handle, say, whatever. And then an apology is something else. An apology is like sort of an act of, it's a token, hey, in addition to being willing to make up for whatever I did, I also just apologize, for the inconvenience or however that felt for you or whatever, right? So you could, so that's number 2. And then number 3 would be some sort of promise for the future. So it may be that you're the person who's always 20 minutes late everywhere, right? And so you could acknowledge you're 20 minutes late, and then you could make some offer, can I pick up the tab for lunch or something. And then, but if there's no promise for the future, then the person you're, restoring yourself with, doesn't really have anything to rest on, So in there would be a promise, hey, I, promise to make it a real priority. I promise not to be late in the future, if that's true for you, if you're making that promise, And so so the first step is the acknowledgement. Second step is some sort of an offer or an apology. And the third step is a promise for the future. How's the future going to go? How are you committed that the future goes? So there you go. What's useful about that in the world of creativity is the minute my friend and I got our thing worked out, we went right back to being creative. We were at work on something, right? So we were at work on something. We had a consternation. I, for one, was being some way other than how I'm committed to being. And then we got all that worked out, and we got right back to work. So it's like useful in addition to, kind of clever, it's useful. And you really want to get this is useful in any kind of relationship, business, personal, friends, romantic, boss, colleagues, clients. When you can start to practice being a particular way in the world, and it's a way that you like and are proud of because you created it, So when you practice being a certain way in the world, and when you're new at it, it's gonna be clunky, it's gonna work, it's not gonna work, like that. So there's gonna be breakdowns, when you're playing a game, right? You're not winning every game, every moment, so in the moments that you're not winning, that's a breakdown, right? And so you want to have a vehicle for restoring yourself, the self you're creating, right? And a vehicle for restoring yourself when you have a breakdown, because we know you're going to have a breakdown because you're a human being. And that's just how we do that. One thing very useful in restoring yourself is to not be judgmental about you or the situation or someone else, right? So if you can take the drama out of it, like, hey, I did that. That's not consistent with who I am. I apologize. Is there anything I can do? And I'm not going to do that in the future. If you can hear there's no drama in that. And in the absence of drama, you might even speculate that something might actually get done. Like, the future might actually be different, So you can practice taking the drama out, 3 steps, restore yourself, right? And then just get back to practicing whoever you're committed to being, right? And again, this whole concept is a workshop on creativity. And while there are lots of types of creativity, a musician, a painter, a poet, etc. There is this other type of creativity called creativity at the level of being, right? And that's what we're talking about tonight. So this workshop is on January 20th. I highly recommend it. If you're not going to be in town, or if you want to find more information on what I'm up to, you can find me at kirkmcdow.com. That's KIRKMCDOW. Would love to see you there. And would love to see you at the workshop on Saturday, January 20th. The information's right here in the copy, in the description of the video. And I hope to see you there. If you arrive there, be sure and let me know that you saw me. I'd love to say hello to you. Okay, thanks so much. Talk to you soon.